little opportunity or chance. So the jobs didn't pay very much money. The opportunities were slim to none. I was painting military refuelers. I was working in correctional facilities. It was the worst work for someone of my skill and talent at the time. So I decided, well, I'm going to open a recording studio. So I opened my house up for the recording studio. I changed my basement. I put all my gear in there. I started charging for recording. Dead-end job, and I began to say, I'm going to build a video game store. There was no video game stores in my town. I said, hell, I'm going to do a video game store. So during this process, I started studying business, entrepreneurship. I started looking, contacting the people I knew. I still had credit going. I still had available credit. When I went to open this store, it's when I started hitting all these burdens. When I went to open the video game store, I was hit with all these burdens. What I thought would cost $30,000 to start ended up being close to $150,000 because of the inflation in the commercial properties. People wanted, I mean, the rent they wanted, the expensive, how expensive the loans were to get an inventory, how much I would need, and at the same time, the banks had taken all my credit cards and maxed them. They were at half their value, and they were cut to that half. So basically, wherever my credit was at became the cap, and all my lines were maxed out in one time. Match that up with me only working dead-end part-time jobs, recording bands who really didn't have the money to pay me, and a lot of energy and time put into a video game store that I couldn't open. It was impossible to open that video game store without major amounts of capital investors. At that point, there wouldn't have been enough profit to do it. So, lo and behold, I'm searching for answers, I'm struggling and frustrated, and a voice calls out. There's a call to virtue. And it was Ron Paul. And it was the movie Freedom to Fascism. And it was this grassroots movement of liberty. I got into that very early. It was 2006, like I said, when I discovered these guys. And it really resonated with me. Because what he was saying was exactly what I was going through and is exactly what I experienced. When he explained to me the credit expansion and the bubble bursting, and some of the economic reasons, and what was going on in the marketplace, and how the economy was being distorted by the Federal Reserve and by the regulations and the corporate mergers of state and corporate powers, I was absolutely convinced from day one because I already experienced it. A lot of people tell me that, oh, you're in a libertarian movement with Ron Paul because you want to be cool, or you want to you want to be different, or you just want to legalize marijuana. And it's like, look, man, I joined this because I lived it. I joined before he even ran for president. In 2008, when he ran, I was already a member of a bunch of organizations and meetups. I was networking with hundreds of people around the country and trying to figure out what's going on, because there were other businesses experiencing this. There's other people experiencing what I felt and going through what I went through. This struggle was so burdensome. I just, it took everything I had to keep the place open. I'm just glad my wife, my girlfriend at the time, stuck with me. So I joined the revolution in 2000 for the 2008 campaign. I was a precinct leader. I went door to door. I started blogging online. I started spreading the message, and I started going heavily into getting this out, letting people know. And this is where I really started using online modalities for marketing, online modalities for communication and networking. And in this time period, we as a community, as a network, as a people, we raised over $6 million in one day and broke the record for the most donations in one day from grassroots people. These weren't from corporations, but from the grassroots. We broke that. We raised millions of dollars for Ron Paul online using at that time MySpace, YouTube, Meetup.com. So using some rudimentary online things, we started generating mass amounts of money and communicating a message that became huge. Huge. It was the online movement for the Ron Paul Revolution was huge. This is when I became part of the InfoWar, and I discovered that I started sharing this stuff like, guys, do you know that the bubbles because of the Federal Reserve? Did you know this? And that's when I got hit. That's when I realized that there was a war, a Cold War going on. between the Republicans, the Democrats, and the Libertarians. Basically, I got hit. I had friends coming at me like mad as hell about what I was saying, telling me that I'm doing it to be cool, I don't understand, all this stuff, I got a degree in blah, 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 you don't understand this. And I'm trying to explain, look, man, I lived this, I've experienced it, I know it firsthand. Don't tell me you just got out of a university and you did not actually live anything yet. You went from high school to college and you don't know. And I don't mean any bad will towards anyone. I'm just really, truly trying to explain this. I've lost so many friends and so many contacts, and just it was, oh man, this was an actual war. Luckily, it was not it was an intellectual war, but I couldn't believe the response. I couldn't believe the rising swell of people who wanted change, who wanted to solve this, and were actually using it, and the money we were generating, and the culture we were generating. But I couldn't believe how my conservative family members, my liberal family members, would just go at me so angrily, with so much ferocity and hate, literally, and disgust, because I wanted freedom, because I believed in the Constitution, because I understood why the busts are happening. It was insane. During this time period, I started my quest for knowledge. I decided that, okay, I'm in it. I'm in. Not only did I serve, not only have I literally combated my friends and family, not only have I put my stake in the sand, I decided the quest for knowledge. That's when I started attending the Mises Institute of Economics. Here's one of my professors, Robert Murphy. I studied economics at the academy. I studied anarcho-capitalism. I studied, libertarian political philosophy, classic liberalism, the Constitution, business, entrepreneurship. I started subscribing to the Trends Journal, the research journal from Gerald Celente. This is a very close-knit community of people who acquire this magazine, and we keep up with the trends. We're very smart people. There's a community of people out here who know what's going on, see it, and want to change it, and it's very difficult. I started working with Mike Dillard in the Elevation Group. I was paying hundreds of dollars a month for my information. I started buying my news because I couldn't trust the mainstream media. I couldn't trust what I was hearing from universities, so I started buying my information. What happened was, during this time, I tried going back to school. I went to a trade school, I went to college. I tried to learn things, and when I would go to college, these loans were so absurdly high and expensive to go. And I would sit there, and I would take these classes that had nothing to do with what I actually was trying to learn. Having owned a business, having experienced life, I was like, this is a waste of money. Not only that, while I'm sitting here listening to you, I'm not making any money. So I was in this thing, and I was like, look, these universities, this system is debt-based. The business model is debt-based. The college system is debt-based. It's all based in debt. It's a debt that can't be paid, and there's no growth because it's too much debt. So I started looking for profit-based systems for education and business. And that might sound like, oh yeah, duh, we should do profit. But I started really looking into it. I was like, are there ways to learn that don't cost hundreds of thousands of dollars? And I found online educational programs from some of the people that, like Robert Murphy, who wrote many books on economics, studied it, and I just started learning. I started taking classes online. They didn't offer degrees, they didn't offer hats or diplomas, but they gave me valuable information. Like I said, I started buying my news. I was rocking here with the Ron Paul Revolution. I started looking into Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I started reading his books. I read his Conspiracy on the Rich, what the rich know about money and they teach their kids, but the poor middle class don't know. I started learning that. I started investigating gold and silver. I started buying gold and silver. When I learned about the monetary system, I started buying silver. And I did not have a lot of money, so I would buy a little bit here, a little bit there. I would sell between my friends. And this quest for knowledge led me to the point where I had to make a choice. I had to discover the power of making a decision. and I decided that I'm going to take control of my own life. I'm going to choose my own path, and I'm going to leave anyone else behind. And I said, I'm going all in life. I'm putting it all in, and I'm taking a leap of faith. And I decided to learn whatever was necessary. Like I said, I was buying my news. I was reading books. I was working with people and talking and going places and talking about real issues, real problems, real struggles, and looking for real solutions. And that's when I received the treasure. That is when I discovered the secret revelation and the Philosopher's Stone. It's when it all coalesced and I understood what I needed to do. I took my rare knowledge in economics, finance, politics, history, business. I put them together and I started looking for tools, systems, resources, networks of people that could help lift me up and could help take me where I wanted to go. And I'm going to break down what that is. I'm going to break down the secret revelation. I'm going to break down this Philosopher's Stone, and I'm going to show you how to create a business for less than $5,000 startup. A business that can truly make a living for you, and an excellent living. And it's expandable, it's automatable, you can automate it, and you can't even imagine where it can take you. Right now, we're going to hop on my computer, and I'm going to show you my gold and silver holdings. I want to show you a couple of my results, and then we'll pop back here, and I'll break down the solution. I'll break down my overview. So let's go.
Hi guys, it's Jan Schaefer. I'm here to want to show you guys my gold and silver investments. As you can see here, I have over $27,046.04 invested in gold and silver. This is my gold and silver holdings for my LLC, and these I want to make this very clear that I do not have these holdings at my office or in my location. This is at a safe place. This is a secure facility outside of my reach and outside of anyone around me. So this is I have this as a savings. I do not intend on spending or selling this. This is my this is one of the assets I use to back up my LLC so that I have hard assets as well as income-producing assets. I have a few paper assets. We'll break that down later. I just wanted to prove to you guys that I have this. I'm going to break this down a step further. I just want to make sure there's no private information showing. So hang out with me in about 1 second. I'll show you what I have held in silver and what I have held in gold. All right, guys.